All right, welcome to episode number 18 of She's Throne Room Podcast. We're back, baby! It's been a good couple of months, I guess, since we've filmed the last one. The last one was, I believe, in November, the beginning of November, and it was with my friends that were in town kind of thing. So, how's it going, Andres and Adrian? It's been a while.
Yeah.
Not a
Pretty
while
good,
in terms of talking, but...
Yeah,
recording.
I think since then or at least you and we've both moved, essentially.
Yeah.
You guys have
Been
I'm
a
in
little
the
busy,
process.
but yeah, and then Adrian, you moved this month as well.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like it's been like you guys did like 2 or 3 podcasts without me, so it's been for
It's
me
been a while
probably
for you,
since.
Adrian, yeah. 'Cause,
Yeah.
what was the last one you were on?
I would want to say one from like September or early October.
Was it the Lego Star Wars Memoriam? Did you talk about Bad Batch? Do you remember?
I did. Bad Batch was like the last things I've talked
Okay,
about.
so it was episode number 14. That was August 18.
Oh my god.
it's like half a year ago. It's all right.
Because then we talked about Visions, and then I had Alden on for the cast, and then I had my local buddies on. So
Yeah, definitely was not here for any of that.
yeah, it's been a while. Lots happened. We all got COVID.
Oh yeah, technically.
Well, most. Let's not say it all. I did.
Well, you probably
yeah.
did, dude. Like, you just didn't want to get tested.
You're a pretty dirty person.
I got
though.
tested.
yeah.
What?
It
Hello?
surprised me.
You're like coughing and everywhere. Like, you're really irresponsible, dude. Like, why did you get tested?
Okay.
No,
But-
so like Andres said, we moved. I bought my own place. You're moving into a new place.
Mhm.
Things are moving.
Indeed.
I got promoted twice.
Yeah, but who'd ask? Just
Me,
kidding.
it's my podcast.
Oh, that's fair, fair.
And speaking of since then the entirety of Book of Boba Fett
It
started
came
and
on
ended so far.
ended, yeah.
Has come and gone, yeah.
There's also been some announcements in terms of games and comics and books and movies and shows. So we've got lots to talk about. So anyway, this was the last episode of this podcast. So
We got lots of cram in one episode.
Yeah. Look, I just got a new device connected to my account, whatever. So I guess we could talk about Book of Boba. It's the most fresh in everybody's brain. Overall, what do you guys think?
I didn't watch any of it until after it was all fully out, so that I could just
Okay.
binge it.
How was it the binge?
Oh, yeah.
Because I obviously was watching it week to week.
I think I would have preferred having not watched it week to week. I generally prefer binging shows, and I think that was the move for this one as well.
Yeah, I would say this one was more of a better as a binge. I liked it overall, but week to week, there's some of those episodes were a little bit slow for me.
Yeah, and I feel like after a slow one, I don't know, like I'm assuming some people maybe lost interest to like tune in that following week. Whereas for me, I'm just going like, oh, that one ended. It wasn't as good as the other ones, but like I'm already moving on essentially. I know Robert Rodriguez had directed an episode. I didn't realize he directed essentially half the season.
He did 2.
He did 3.
episodes.
No, he did 3 out of the 7.
Which ones did he do? He did number 3.
He did 1, 3, and 7.
Oh, okay.
3 is the only one I knew for sure that he had done.
Yeah, that was the slowest motor chase we've ever seen in a Star Wars show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was so slow.
I fucking hated those things.
I think I saw like an old lady like walking faster in the background at one point. Yeah, I guess she's using fucking 4 speed.
Like the Vespas are going faster than those things.
I thought
Literally.
I thought they were fine. I thought the mods were cool and stuff like that. But the chase itself was, I don't know if it was how it was shot, but it was like this intense music, and it was like, I don't know, it felt like something out of SpongeBob.
Why the colors though?
Whatever, it's Star Wars.
Compared to the
They should have aged them. They look like all brand new bikes in a desert world. I'm like, this should look a little bit more scuffed. Like, even if you weren't riding it.
They're shining up the shit. That's what I saw it as.
the
Whatever.
first second I saw
think-
those, I'm like, Power Rangers? Like, what
Yeah,
the
that's a
fuck?
thing too. Yeah, that's the only one that I could tell was Robert Rodriguez because I saw it and I was like, oh, what the fuck? Like, it literally just turned into Spy Kids halfway through this show. Um, that's what it felt like. It just reminded me of Spy Kids special effects. And like, this is Star Wars. Like, why are just age this, color correct it so it matches? Like, you can have it be shiny and have it also visually fit in.
A little bit dusty.
But he just likes that very saturated look.
Yeah. Which is fine. Whatever. It wasn't like it didn't kill it for me. It was kind of one of those
No,
things where it's like, whatever.
just odd.
Yeah. It was
Just
just
odd
Yeah.
to me.
There were definitely a few like
banger episodes.
odd choices. Definitely some dope ass moments. But just speaking of like the slow Vespas, like it's funny because like they have that whole chase scene, and then it immediately like it doesn't mean anything because like they get to that guy, and then Boba lands right next to him. So I'm like, oh, he could have just done that whenever.
He was probably
That was a
tracking
jetpack.
them.
Like,
He's
he doesn't need to
like,
go around corners. Like, he just like goes up, goes down. Like,
was like, hold up, I'm just gonna go to the grocery store while they chase him, and then I'll meet up with you at the end.
yeah.
Give him a head start.
Still think my favorite episode though was episode number 2. That was the one where he basically gets his staff and all that
That was pretty
Right.
sick.
Okay.
with like the dancing at the end.
Think-
with
For me, my favorite ones were probably 4 and 5.
the Mando episode.
I was gonna say the
One of
Mando
them's a Mando
episode.
episode. But episode 4 specifically.
Episode 4 was dope. It was.
Is that where he
yeah,
fights
that
the
just
other?
had- Yeah, that's when he gets his ship, and then
Yeah.
he just runs down the was it the Nikto bike gang?
Episode 4 was.
Was that not episode 4?
Episode 4 was the flashback with him meeting up with Fennec, and then 5 was Mando, and episode 6 was Mando. Yeah. So you're right. It was the episode 4 was when he got his ship back and was getting.
Yeah, because he's like calling back to like he's like, hey, I need you to help me steal the ship.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, he's like, "Yeah, I gotta take care of some things." She's like, "I'm along for the ride," and then just like slow
Blast.
turns, and he's like, "I'm gonna go." Just like, yeah, he's like, "I'm gonna do an artillery line just on these fucking." But that show was just dope. So for me, like getting to episode 4, it like I was okay with the Spy Kids of episode 3. I was like, all right, you know what? I'll accept that if it means I got this one shot. And it's just a shot of like the slave one just flying low, just gunning down the ships.
Yeah.
It just looked like something out of a war movie all of a sudden. I was like, sick, okay. In Star Wars though.
I really like the Lawrence of Arabia style train heist. That was
Yeah.
Yeah, that's badass. I think the beginning of episode 5, where they were fighting, I don't know what those creatures are, or who they are. Where he's in the meat factory.
Oh yeah.
That was probably.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Seeing those.
That whole episode was just shot awesome. That was Bryce Dallas Howard.
Mhm.
Even though it was supposed to
Yeah,
be
he
all
killed
about Boba Fett, that was probably the best episode of me in the whole season.
Well, and I mean that episode itself was thematic with the series. With like my nature was one way, I'm gonna change it, and then you got Mando who lost his kid, so he's going back to what the only thing he knows, kind of thing. So thematically it worked. It was a little bit much with episode 6. I liked episode 6 a lot. However, I don't know if it should have been in a Boba Fett show.
I didn't even get that. Like, I understood why they did 5. Sure,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
there. But then why do we have 2 episodes of Mando?
Well, why do we have an episode with Mando meeting up with
At
Luke
all.
and Ahsoka? Like,
Yeah.
totally removed from Boba Fett.
Mhm.
Didn't need to be there.
Was there any? Oh no, that's okay. Yeah, they do go back to like the Boba story a little bit in that episode, but yeah, 90% of that episode has
He
nothing
didn't
to
say a
do with
word.
the rest of the show.
The way they went back to him in that episode, it was him nodding his head. That's the only shot that he's in that episode of episode 6.
Yeah.
Mando walks in,
I
he nods his
think
head.
what
and
they
that's the end of the
should
episode.
have done is call this like the Mandalorian : Book of Boba Fett.
They
They
did.
should have just.
To be fair,
So this is technically part of the Mandalorian, then, right?
well, it's all part of the Mandalorian. Like they right from the get go, they've marketed it as Mando season 2.5. But I don't know if they should have called it the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah,
Well,
they
I'm
should-
saying that I'm fine with that, but the title should have been The Mandalorian: Book of Boba Fett. It's not. It's just Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
there's a confusion there for the broader audience.
Because I mean,
Unless the people like you.
Ahsoka's going to tie into it.
So excited.
I don't even know what
So,
other shows they have coming up. There's a rumored like Bo-Katan show coming up. Whatever they're going to be doing with the Rangers of the New Republic, that sounds like it's scrapped, but they're reworking it. Thanks, Carradine. But so it's not like everything's going to be tying in, and like Thrawn is going to be like the big bad kind of thing and all that. But
I gotta bring up.
What's that?
No, I gotta bring up one scene from the book Boba Fett. The last episode where who's that guy? He does
Oh, I
like
know
the
exactly what you're gonna
spin
do.
move
Oh,
that
whatever.
everybody.
Dude, have you watched the? Have
I
you
will
watched the
say-
prequels? Like,
I'm gonna say it.
when
That
you watch the
sucked.
prequels, everybody's spinning, dude. It's a good trick.
But you know
No.
what, Adrian? I heard you complain about that before I watched the show.
Yeah,
When I watched it, I thought I was gonna be like, okay, that was dumb. But I think you might want to rewatch it, and I need to rewatch it because I'm not sure. Like, I think he was dodging somebody shooting where his head used to be.
sure.
So I just took it as him crouching
It-
shoot
like,
as well.
I saw that shot. I'm like, whatever. And that was
It was
and
just
then
done-
It became a big thing on the line. I'm like,
It was
why?
just done weird. It was just. I don't think there was a use for the slow
Rodriguez has
motion.
a weird way of shooting things, though.
Yeah.
I like it. It was just how that whole episode was shot, and it was fine.
Yeah, I like the whole episode.
He has a weird
It's just
way
that-
of shooting, which I am. A
Yeah,
fan
I
of.
think he
I am a fan
also-
of how he shoots. Like Machete is awesome, but it is weird.
I'm realizing it's what I'm thinking of. At least they're both episodes that he directed, Robert Rodriguez.
Oh yeah.
But it seemed at times there were like parts where they like their characters are too overpowered and they don't know how to write problems that they wouldn't be able to easily solve. Like the whole Boba he could have jetpacked to land, and beat the mopeds. And then right at the last episode too, which he also directed, it's when they're trying to hold out in the sanctuary and all the Pikes are moving in to go attack them. And then Boba and the Mando both have jetpacks. They both fly up, shoot at people, and then they land right in the same spot.
Kill spot,
Which is like,
yeah.
guys, yeah, like in the kill box exactly. I'm like, you could have repositioned with that to like a more advantageous position. And it's weird because like they're both like experienced fighters. Like they would have known that, but it doesn't work for the story if you let them be as strong as they are, I guess.
It's like they nerfed them with their brain.
Exactly, yeah. Which is like the sort of things that like writers have to do for like Superman and stuff like that when they get characters that they're like, oh, this guy wouldn't have any problems. I'm like, sure he would. It's just like you got to figure out what the fuck that would be, and like see if it's compelling to like be on TV.
I think my biggest
Like they
issues-
weren't the main characters.
I think my biggest issue with the show was like how the story was told, not necessarily the story itself. I love I really like Book of Boba, like the overarching story, the moments like.
When you say how it was told, do you mean like how it kept flipping between past and present sort of thing?
No. I mean like how it was shot, how it was.
Oh yeah, okay. Literally like how the okay, gotcha.
How it was told, but the story itself, at like broad stroke, I'm like, yeah, it's great. Like him, I like the flashbacks, him learning with the Tuscans, but I wish they had gone back to the Tuscans. Like, maybe Freetown shows up with Tuscans. That would have been cool.
Yeah, like two Tuscans they managed to get
sick.
away or something like
Yeah.
that, and we're like trying to rebuild.
Well, and
At some point, they should have showed us one of them escaped. I feel like it would have been a better
something, yeah.
story.
the warrior chick or whatever.
Yeah, I wanted to see her more. I was hoping she would show up in the last episode.
But it's like the Tuscans were there, and then they got killed, and now they're done with the Tuscans.
Yeah.
It would have been cool round back to, like I said, with the Freetown folk showing up with all the Tuscans as well, because they've worked with the Tuscans as well, so that would be a through line with that. But whatever.
Yeah.
But we got to
Yeah.
talk about Cad Bane. Boy, was that
Oh yeah.
awesome.
I was so happy.
Too.
So like,
Yeah.
I just liked seeing him, so it was nice to get like a little, like confirmation. Was like, yeah, so he was still alive this whole time. He was like still fucking killing.
well, that episode, that was episode 6. So it started out with Cobb Vanth, and I was freaking out. I'm like, I love Cobb Vanth.
Mm-hmm.
Think it through, like his whole thing, and him showing he's like super fast at firing and stuff like that. And then when I saw that silhouette, I'm like, oh
Yeah,
no,
the hat.
oh no. I'm like, he's dead. He's dead.
And
Yeah.
they had him look pretty good for like live action.
No,
I
It
was
was a good
very
way
impressed.
of seeing the live act, and also because like
the voice, man.
he would have been older too, so they even had him look a little bit
Well-
older. Like his face slightly had more sag, desaturated. Like it looked like a good
How he
quote
was
unquote
walking.
realistic way of having him be in it. Yeah.
He was walking like looked like he kind of had a limp. Like
Mhm.
he was
It's like he's clearly just been doing a lot of shit. Like this is a
Almost got
weathered
arthritis.
individual. Yeah.
Still badass as fuck that he'll beat the hell out of you.
like his
Mhm.
voice, man.
Exactly.
I was like, yo. But as soon as I saw him show up, I'm like, Cobb Vanth's dead, and I hate that, but he's dead. Like, there's no way.
Mhm.
Obviously, he survived with the end credits, but like,
Yeah, but you just knew Cobb wasn't gonna be the
He
one
was
to
not
kill
gonna be okay.
Cad Bane.
he was not going to be okay. And I like how they talked about kind of the history between Boba and Cad, not by saying outright like you shot me in the head, but just like I've seen you when you were young. You've done this. You're gonna kill your whole life. So it's like, oh, they have obviously
Yeah.
had a history kind of thing.
Yeah, it was nice that they recognized like they clearly would have been aware of each other because like they were both bounty
Well,
hunters at the same time. They were both like
Django
notorious.
trained Cad Bane, like comics way back in the day.
Oh,
So Django trained Cad Bane. Then he had Boba. Django obviously died, and then there was a unreleased Clone Wars arc where Cad Bane trains
met
Boba with the intent of killing Boba to prove that he's the best bounty hunter in the galaxy. And it's like an unreleased thing where they do a shoot off and they both get shot in the head, and that's where Boba's dent comes from in his helmet.
Oh, so that is canon though. Okay.
Yeah, it's been very heavily implied, seeing as he's in the Bad Batch,
The
and
dent.
then in the Bad Batch he has like the plate on his head, Cad Bane, where he was shot. So it's been implied, and I think there's also room for him to come back as well if the story needs him. But right now he's dead.
It'd be sick to get some more of Cad Bane.
Yeah, but
Honestly, yeah, he's just too cool a character.
I
I'm
could
fine
see
with him
why.
being dead, but I
yeah.
can see him now that we know he's been alive this entire time. They could bring him back for other stories.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, the Obi-Wan show, for example, would be while he's still alive, essentially. Not that I think he's gonna end up in there, but like,
I doubt it, but it
Could
would.
Maybe
technically,
maybe
you know.
in the Andor show.
that's what I'm saying. Like, there's still a big chunk of time where like there are stories to tell, and
Yeah.
he's alive.
Well, it's literally like 40 years or something. Literally the last time we saw him was in Bad Batch, which was at the end of the Clone Wars, and then the last time we saw him was 5 years after Return of the Jedi. So there's plenty.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not like we're unused with Star Wars knowing how someone dies and then having stories fill in the place. Like freaking Obi-Wan. Obviously, first episode of Star Wars. We
Yeah.
see him
I mean,
die.
even Boba Fett, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
we don't see pretty much anything about him. He fucking dies, and then the fan base was like, "Wait, that guy was cool." And they're like, "All right, we'll tell you about it. Like,
Yeah,
we'll come
and then
up
we
with
have
shit."
the prequels where his stories in Clone Wars
Yeah.
and all that. Like it's not unheard of. They would be like, oh, this person, we've seen how they end. Darth Vader, we've seen how they end. Okay, cool. We're gonna go back and do prequels and then fill everything in with Clone Wars. It's not unheard of. Overall, I really enjoyed the show though. And the
It did a lot of cool stuff.
The music was
I-
awesome.
Oh yeah.
Didn't miss a beat on that one for sure.
Something else that I just want to talk about, like that I loved seeing on screen, aside from Cad Bane, was his new ship. Again, I didn't watch any of this show until afterwards, and I also did not specifically like pay attention to what people were saying about the show for the most part.
The Boost Starfighter. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what people felt about that, but that was fucking dope. I really loved that was his ship
That
because
whole
like
episode, I was giddy.
since the first like the prequel movie, all of the ships that they've had on there were just so fucking dope. The design of the N1 specifically though has always been one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
That
him
and then,
flying- him flying through Beggar's Canyon and all that.
Yeah.
With
I mean,
Yeah.
obviously everything.
Road
Like
with
even when he
pod
gets
racers,
pulled over
oh.
by the two fighters, and he just like speeds up. He's like, "How do you?" He didn't even charge up his hyper. He's like, "Yeah, that wasn't it. That's like his sub thrust."
That was a subplane. It's like, oh.
I hope in the next
that
Mando
was dope.
season we get to see him use it, like
Oh, for sure,
shooting
for sure.
down other starfighters.
I just
or whatever.
really hope that they don't fucking blow it up, just like in the first couple
No.
episodes.
At
because
all.
They just keep like I feel like anything that he just gets in just seems to get shot up or banged up or just fucking destroyed. I'm like, bro, just give him
Well,
a shit.
I
Like,
think he's done with the bounty hunter. Like we're done with the
aspect of
bounty.
it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna go more
I mean, he's still
into
obviously getting into shit, you know, like with everything
yeah,
else he's doing.
but I think it's gonna get more into him becoming like the leader of Mandalore kind of thing.
Mhm.
It's I don't expect him to get shot up as much in terms of
Yeah.
like ship.
Plus, with this new shit, yeah, like that's kind of the point. It's like, well, you're faster now. Like,
Yeah,
good luck to them shooting you,
he was
essentially.
literally he went from
Um,
driving a minivan to driving a Corvette. So
yeah,
And then we're also gonna
and
really
like,
see
a stock
him.
Corvette, it's like it's tuned. You know? It's like, I mean, they're like, yeah, we put this like whatever, and I loved
built
how
this
like
with
the look of it.
family.
It looked like, yeah, exactly. Like it literally looked like the ship equivalent of a car that's been worked on. It's like they had to cut out a slit for like that part to come out right by the window, where they're like, yeah, I forget what they called it. It's like this catalytic converter or whatever is like gonna make this bitch haul. And I was like, okay, dope. Like it doesn't look like exactly like the N1 Starfighter.
but enough to know that
It
it
looks
is.
modified. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, honestly,
Also,
that's
the
probably my favorite episode.
live action BD unit. Oh, I freaked out.
hmm hmm
Adrian, what were you gonna
I
say?
love that robot.
I love, yeah, awesome design.
Um, I'm curious about the Mando season that they're gonna come up. Like, are they gonna have him? I just don't know. They can go in so many angles with that
Yeah.
show. I want to see him like take a episode or two of learning more with the dark saber, not just like
Mhm.
right away, because we know he's
Because he
having
definitely
trouble.
still doesn't know how to handle it.
Yeah,
And I just kept calling back, like in my head, I just kept remembering the that Rebels episode where
With
Kanan
Sabine.
is teaching
Yeah.
Sabine how to use it. And it's like
yeah.
he just needs something like that.
It's
Like
like
he
you're
needs
fighting the
somebody
blade.
that knows what to tell him so that he knows how to use it better. Exactly.
Oh, I'm
It's,
like,
it's gonna
bro,
be
just go
weird
back
for
to
him.
Luke. Just go back to Luke.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's gonna
um,
be weird for him to learn it on his own. Like it
mhm,
wouldn't be the
mhm.
same. Somebody's got to show him the way.
I do think it's dope. Like you can see whenever he uses it, like he makes it look like it's got weight too. Like you know,
Well,
he's
it
like
gets
dragging it, like
heavier
he's
and heavier
literally
every
like
time he uses it.
hmm And I just thought it was dope because like we're used to just seeing like lightsabers, you know, like they don't fucking weigh anything, like they're just swinging around, yada yada. And now he's like actually like grabbing it almost like a claymore that he's got to swing around.
Yeah, and that's what the armor was saying. Is like you're fighting the blade, and I
hmm
mean the whole Kanan and Sabine thing was like you're fighting the blade. You gotta let
Exactly.
it's part of the Force. You gotta let it fight through. Well,
hmm
I'm not a Jedi. Yeah, but you're still a living thing. And that's the whole like that was the whole thing that George brought up with he wanted lightsabers to be heavy, but if you're connected to the Force and stuff like that, you
They're
can
just like an extension,
yeah
essentially.
yeah.
Also,
Uh,
doesn't somebody else end up with that dark saber eventually?
I mean, somebody had. This is the, I guess, the most recent we
This
would
is
have
the most
seen the
recent
dark
one, yeah.
saber, right?
Yeah.
Because before this, like, yeah, Sabine had it. Then she gives it to Bo-Katan.
And then Bo-Katan lost
Um,
it to Gideon.
yeah, eventually ends up in
Okay, never mind.
Gus Fring's hands, and then he takes it from Moff Gideon
Those follow each
from
other.
Mister Pollo Hermano.
I can't see him without being Pollo Hermano.
Dude,
It's not a
honestly.
bad thing. It's worked for
It's not.
for a while.
Especially
One of
for just playing villains, you just starting now. It's like this guy just
He's-
doesn't fuck
I
around.
mean, if you play Far Cry 6, he's the best part of that, and he's literally just Gus Fring as a dictator. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Best villains ever.
I also not that I like didn't really see coming, but I didn't know like for sure when they were kind of like, all right, Grogu, like, do you want to stick around here, learn how to be a Jedi, or are you gonna fuck off? I was like, because we never really see him again, and I assumed they weren't gonna be like he stuck around with Luke, and then he was part of the ones that get just fucking demolished by Kylo. It's like I figured he wasn't gonna stick around too long there, but just already gone.
just
He's like, yeah, I got my
killed someone else.
chainmail, dude. I'm gone. Yeah,
Or
'Cause
Grogu
that
was
is
one of the
what
ones
they
that
were.
escaped.
Yeah, that is what they were building, right? It's like the
Yeah.
same
No,
host.
and
Yeah.
Okay,
they confirmed it, and that is the temple.
okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, which was cool.
Those ant robot things were. I'm like, yo, that's a cool design. It seems
Mhm.
a little bit like overkill to
That
have
just
so many
made
of
me
them
think of,
going,
like-
but
Nah, dude, he's got the force.
Let
Do whatever you want.
them work. So that's cool. It definitely made me like want to see what happens with Mando and Grogu.
yeah,
Which I don't know. The Book of Boba Fett is something that should be making me do that.
yeah, and I mean, it made me excited. I liked it for what it was. I wish I saw more Boba. Like,
In Boba, yeah.
yeah, like when Ahsoka and Luke were interacting, that was the best. Like, that's something I've wanted to see for years.
Yeah, she's like,
She's
you're a
like,
lot like your dad. You're like, oh,
oh,
that's right.
I'm an old friend of the family. I'm like, oh.
Mhm.
Wish I saw
Um,
that in the Ahsoka show, but whatever. That's
It is
and I
what
think
it
I think we
is.
will see the initial interaction in the Ahsoka show. I think they're gonna save it for that. But
For Ahsoka and Luke meeting.
yeah, it being like
Hmm.
her figuring out who he is and all that.
I hope we
Oh,
see
also,
that.
yeah. Speaking of, Luke looked way fucking better
Yeah, because I heard the
here than he
deepfake,
did.
dude.
Yeah.
Definitely. Is that
Um,
somebody else finally? Like somebody's finally? I didn't really
they
think about it.
specifically hired a
Yeah,
guy
gotcha.
that was really like that did specifically deepfake stuff on YouTube. I think Disney hired him,
Yeah,
and I'm sure he helped out. But yeah, otherwise, I think ILM was also working on that, and
yeah. I
they're
mean, it's
literally
just an
just
improvement
visual
of
effects
technology.
gods.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It's just an
yeah,
improvement of the.
there's a better understanding of deepfake, and it looked so much better. Like they were
Yeah.
just straight up flexing. They're like, we're gonna give you like a close up shot of his face in the
For
sun.
20 minutes.
Yeah, you're like, all right, and it literally
I'm
just looks like a person. It's like it's insane.
Here's a CGI face with a puppet. This is what we're doing now.
Yeah. I do also like that there was some Grogu CGI stuff, but I do like how much they still clearly have him as a puppet there.
Yeah, just
Like,
him
yeah, and
doing
you
it.
can tell because I'm like, okay, I know that he's not real, but also like he's clearly in that space. Like he literally exists in this shot essentially, and it just adds a
We
lot.
saw a lot of that in the last episode.
Yeah,
It was cool.
Him just leaping, like jumping around. I'm like, yeah.
yeah, doing the little Yoda jumps. I'm like, okay,
I was
okay.
expecting. I was expecting him to go. "Mah!" Or him like getting the frog, and he's like, "I'm gonna get the frog," and then Luke's like, and he's like, "If you continue this, you can get all the frogs."
Yeah,
I thought that was cool. Anyway,
it was cool.
another thing that's coming out in like 2 months is Obi-Wan. Like officially got a release date.
That I'm very
Oh
excited for.
I'm
yeah.
so excited.
I
I'm also excited
almost
to have move away from the Mando stuff for a little bit. Just get something fresh, new director,
Mhm.
not a different director that's not like John Favreau and Dave Filoni. They're great, but get a new voice in there. It's Deborah Chow and all that. So
What has she done?
she did an episode of Mando season 1, and then
Okay.
also some banger episodes of Breaking Bad as well as Better Call Saul.
Oh, okay.
That's a good track record right there,
no,
actually.
she's one of the best. So I'm very excited about that. Obviously, they have Ian McGregor in there, but it's coming out the day before Celebration, which I don't think is an accident.
Hmm.
They're gonna play it, everybody's gonna get hyped for it, and then they're gonna talk about it. Celebration.
Well, then they can. I think they'll probably do like talks with the cast and be like they can actually talk about the season rather than they're like I don't know what's gonna happen. They'd be like, hey, yeah, we first episode's out. We could talk about the first episode.
Um, yeah. So I was just looking at the specific episodes that she had done, episode 3 and episode 7 from the first season.
Yeah.
And actually, I do remember her, because for the first season of Mandalorian, they had that like the behind the scenes show that they put up on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Which was dope. I hope they do more stuff like that.
They
And I definitely remember her on the table talking, like with Bryce Dallas Howard and Rick Famuyiwa. It'd be cool to see more like behind the scenes type of stuff like that for Book of Boba Fett.
I think they will. They've done it for every single thing for Marvel as well as Star Wars at this point. Like the last one we got was Mando season 2, but we just haven't had a lot of Star Wars. But
And I'm all about it.
they've done
Because-
a similar thing called Assembled for Marvel, where literally every show, every movie that's come out since Disney Plus has come out, they've done it. So I would be surprised if they didn't for Book of Boba.
Yeah.
But I love that stuff, the behind the scenes. I like seeing how the volume is working in their thought process. I love that. And something that George always did as well with even like before the prequels are coming out, he was releasing behind the scenes like footage, being like, "Hey, this is what we're working on."
Hey, I'm Mr. Star Wars.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think for the Obi-Wan, I think for the Obi-Wan show, I just kind of like I'm good. I'm just locked in, so I almost want to see nothing else about it. I want to go in knowing nothing, because I mean, obviously, we know it's Obi-Wan and like kind of what he was up to,
Yeah.
and we know that Hayden Christensen's going to be in it. But like as far as that, like this, I'm in now, and I just the least I know going in, the better I think it'll be
what
for
I'm
me.
most excited about is Joel Edgerton being back as Owen. Because talk about someone that's had a acting career that went crazy after Star Wars. Because he was in
Yeah, he was a nobody back
he
then.
was
I
a
feel
nobody
like,
in
right?
episode 2 and 3, and then he's
Uncle Owen.
he's had insane acting career. So I was seeing him and Ian McGregor go up against each other, kind of thing, in terms of acting. I think that's gonna be dope. It's gonna be great to see Hayden Christensen back and stuff like that. But honestly, seeing him as Owen again is what I'm most excited. And I know that's super weird.
More so than Anakin.
Yeah,
like Luke's
100%.
uncle. That little burnt crisp at the start of New Hope.
Yeah, like, but I just feel like there's a dynamic there that hasn't been explored with like reason why he's the crazy guy in the hills and not allowed to see Luke, kind of thing, and why, you know.
Right. Yeah, because that is what Uncle Owen would tell Luke. Right? He's like, "Yeah, don't go talk to that Obi guy. Crazy old guy."
All we know is he dropped off Luke to them, and then just like went off to the hills. And then he's like, "Yeah, he's the crazy guy." Yeah, but you haven't had a conversation with him. He just dropped off a baby to you. So I want to see why he calls him the crazy dude in the hills. That no, and I know it's super weird, but who's announced? Oh, have you guys watched Succession at all?
No.
So
the dismay of my Twitter feed.
Yeah, no, the show's dope. I just finished it. But the composer for that is doing the score for Andor, which phenomenal. Like,
when is that set to come out?
let me see if I can find it. My mouse just died.
Oh wait, expected to be released mid to late 2022.
Yeah,
Oh, interesting. What is Andor about?
So you watched Rogue One, right?
Yes.
So the guy, like the main male lead, Cassian Andor. I think it's about him.
Yeah,
which is dope because I love that actor as well, Diego Luna.
Okay.
that was dope.
I'm gonna have to watch Rogue One again to get a fresh idea about him because I do remember.
It's also
I'm
just a
looking
good
at,
movie to watch.
Another instance
Oh, I
of,
love.
We know how they die. Now we're gonna do a show with them.
Exactly. Yeah. We just get to
love
see
Rogue
like
One.
background stuff. Yeah, and it definitely looks like they're going for that like gritty sort of atmosphere with it.
And Diego Luna is fucking cool.
Yeah, dude, I love that guy.
It's just,
I'm excited for that.
Early, late 2022, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's the show right immediately after Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
To lead into that, and apparently we're getting Bad Batch in like a month.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Huh?
they haven't officially announced it, but they're like, yeah, no, it's early spring.
You think it's gonna
Does it
come
go
out May
Bad Batch
4th
and then
like
Obi?
it did last
I think
time?
they're gonna drop it after Moon Knight.
After midnight?
Moon Knight.
Oh, Moonlight.
Moon Knight.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Moonlight
is
comes
that
out next.
Moon Knight comes out at the end of the month. So
Okay.
I
Yeah, I'm
feel
sure
like-
they don't want to release two of like their bigger shows at once.
Yeah, and if they do, it'll be like the tail end of Moon Knight.
God damn, there's a shitload of Star Wars stuff coming out.
Yeah, finally, like it's
I
been
didn't-
a little bit of a drought in terms of shows.
But like we're getting one after another this year. It's like a Star Wars year. Last year was Marvel. This year's all Star Wars.
Yeah. Was it 2020 was Star Wars too? I feel like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But then like COVID hit, and then all that,
Mhm.
so it kind of stalled everything out. Because I feel like Andor was already supposed to be out. At least with
Kenobi
Bad
was
Batch- Bad
supposed to be on
Batch taking away
21.
from home, but
Yeah.
because I mean, back to Bad Batch being from home, like they even low key just cheated a little bit with their scenery, and it worked out great. It looks way better than anything. But they just took pictures and painted over them. Like some of the best
Really?
shots in that show were literally just pictures from like one of the animators was like, yeah, no, I took that.
Yeah,
Picture
he was
while
like, yeah, I was on a flight and I
To
looked out my
Mexico,
window and
yeah.
like, that looks nice.
and,
That's awesome.
it was one of the. Cool
It was some of the
shots.
better looking
Yeah.
backplates though. I remember the one episode specifically when they were in was it Cloud City? I think it was. or the cloud. Yeah, I remember like that one. I was like, holy shit! Like,
Yeah, it looked awesome. And it was. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. So they're not. I'm not. Cheating's the wrong word, but innovating, I guess, using like mashing styles together.
yeah, because it didn't look out of place. Like they
No.
blended it in, and it just made it look like a really nice, like painterly sort of skyscape. Looked
Oh,
really nice, very pleasing.
and then
It, Bad
What's that?
Batch shot beautifully. No, just Bad Batch was
Mhm.
shot beautifully. Like
Honestly,
nothing
yeah.
about it.
it's one of the prettiest like shows, animated shows they've ever done.
Their Star Wars animated stuff has literally only gotten better as it's gone on.
Yeah, yeah,
Like from early Clone Wars, mid Clone Wars, late Clone Wars. Uh, in my opinion, Rebels as well. To be
Rebels.
honest, that was another bump up.
yeah.
Even
Rebels,
like
and
with the
then the
different
last season
style of
of Clone
animation.
Wars, and then the first
Mm-hmm.
season of Bad Batch. Like the last season of
Yep.
Clone Wars was insane. Last 4 episodes, like when
Oh, dude, yeah.
the Star
The last
Destroyer comes
four is
out
fucking
of
insane.
hyperspace there. Oh man,
I like that
beautiful.
they gave like Darth Maul his own like hallway scene sort of stuff. Like he was just going through. Like it's after he gets
But the
released and he's
lighting
just
was
trying to
dope.
escape out.
Like,
Hmm.
back to the music. John Williams is doing the theme for Obi-Wan, so that's gonna be cool.
Oh.
He's coming back out of retirement,
That would be
baby.
Hmm. Good get for that. Actually, it'd be nice having like the OGs. Like, all right, I'm gonna come up with something new but familiar. I'm like, good luck, dude. Good luck.
We've heard
I
it
know
all
you can
from
do
you.
it. Yeah,
Surprises. I dare you.
and keep it familiar.
And something that
Um,
finally got a release date. Lego Star Wars game is coming out.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Finally.
Yep. I've been
Seriously.
keeping up with that, dude. Like, they had they released like
It's gone gold.
not a behind the scenes video,
like
but
2
they
weeks ago.
released something. Yeah, yeah. Just because they've added so much, but they're
looks
like, we
fun.
got to let you know about some of these new stuff here. Like they have that just hadn't been in any of like the Lego Star Wars games. I'm just excited, dude.
Yeah.
I've seen like the map, like it just looks like a huge fucking game,
Like
which I get why it took so long.
into ships and stuff like that. They
Mhm.
and the way they literally said they have built all those models out of Lego.
Wow.
He's like, I forget which one was saying it, but one of the designers was they were showing one of the Luger Hulk ones from Episode 1, like the thing that Anakin blows up. He's like,
Yeah.
that has like 50,000 pieces or 50,000 individual pieces in that. You would never be able to build it in real life, but we can do it now with our new system. He's like, it's all built.
It's
with
like
Lego.
technically possible to be built, essentially all of it.
Yeah. So, which is insane. So that makes sense why it took so long, because they probably had to individually design all those.
That's
Yeah,
nuts.
well, not even just that, just like features that like you can even with some of like the shooter characters, they have that like quote unquote precision mode,
Yeah, over the shoulder.
which is almost like turns it into like a third person like over the shoulder shooter. I'm like,
They're going
okay,
for
like
the
that's just
division.
I'm like, okay, they're just changing shit up. That and it just looks so nice. Like
Yeah.
I watched the video, like the last one they had put out there for that, and then I went back and I watched the older Star Wars Lego footage from like the original
Brutal.
Star Wars Lego that they put out.
Brutal.
Dude, it's so night and day in every respect, like resolution, the lighting, reflections, character models,
It's like
just
black and white to color, man.
yeah, literally. Black and white to fucking 4K or something. Like kudos to them.
What's
so
up
good.
with them and not adding like multiplayer to it though? Like they're just
Uh,
keeping it couch co-op.
They've done that for a while.
I don't think any of the Lego games
The
have
last
been
one that-
online
No, aren't there a
multiplayer.
few?
The last one to be multiplayer, I
Uh.
believe, was Pirates of the Caribbean.
That was online multiplayer?
That was online multiplayer. I think that was the last one.
But like in general, like these days, like I don't know, it's just people like
It
playing
w-
with
I
each
wish
other.
it would have it. I do like that they keep couch co-op, but I wish they had options for both.
I think
I
if-
definitely
That's
want
right,
them to
yeah.
have couch co-op because that's something that a lot of
if
games are
it
just kind of
gets
thrown
me
out the
game
window.
faster, I don't want them to put it in right away. If they add it on later, great. But if that was something that was going to take a while for them to put it, it's
Yeah.
not.
I mean, I don't think they're going to add it at all,
I don't
but
think they're gonna add it at all.
if it was one or the other, like I would rather have couch co-op because there's not a lot of couch co-op games these days.
Yeah.
Saying that now when you got two roommates who will play it. Well, you know we're gonna
I
play
know.
that together.
Oh, for sure, dude, for sure.
Dude, that one's gonna be fun.
It's already ready.
And then we
Now we
also
just need the co-op.
got another game announcement. What is that? Eclipse or whatever. A little bit torn on that one.
Eclipse.
That was
Which one was it? Let me just
that
look
was the
that
High
up.
Republic one.
Star Wars Eclipse,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But that game won't be out for like years to come.
Probably like
Yeah, I would say
2
like
years.
2 years
If they can
minimum.
actually come to
Oh.
it's David Cage, so
Yeah, they say the
Oh,
estimates it won't release until 2026 or it's 7.
so maybe they haven't done like anything for it then.
That's
I thought maybe if they were already like a year or two into it.
It,
I
it
feel like
looks
they're
like
gonna get a Fallen Order sequel though. Pretty
so now I'm
quickly.
seeing so
That
now
I'm
I'm seeing
excited for.
something. They say something else. Rumors have it for 2024, but if it doesn't come out in 2024, then it's gonna be a lot
Yeah,
later.
I don't know if it even will come out. It sounds like might be getting.
Oh, it's
shelved.
Quantic Dream making
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Interesting.
I like their games, but I don't like their people.
What did they?
The
What if
other,
they?
they're the ones that made Heavy Rain.
Heavy Rain. Jason.
Detroit Become Human. They mainly like they're not really like action games. You're more like
Choose your own adventure.
it's almost like click games. Like you could probably play most of these like with just a mouse essentially. Um,
Gotcha.
I never played Detroit, but I know for sure like Beyond, Heavy Rain, those both you can kind of get by without
that one had
knowing
Willem
like how
Dafoe
to play a lot. Yes, Beyond had Willem Dafoe, and
Elliot Page.
who is now Elliot Page. Yes, was also in
Page
there.
of the time.
Interesting
I
company.
never
like
played that
to
one.
get
I
this.
watched. Yeah, they're like more narrative based. So like, I never even ended up playing Beyond Two
David
Souls. I
Cage
just kind of
takes the
watched
place.
a gameplay of it, and I was like, okay, I got the gist. Like, that's pretty much what you get there. They're almost like playable movies more so than they are.
I mean, what if
Like
they are
action
trying to
games.
get you to like just watch more Star Wars, but trying to put in a
And I'm okay with that because I'm looking at some of
right?
the screenshots that they have of it right now, and it all looks really cool.
Dude,
High
Let me send you the
High Republic is a banger right now.
yeah, I need to
what
I
I'm
need to
looking at
reread
right
that,
here.
re-listen to that.
They just finished phase 1, so now
What do
it's
you
time.
mean?
So phase 1 is done. So now they're bringing in some more writers and stuff like that. But the next phase is going to be 150 years in the past.
Wait, they're going
Right.
further back?
Yeah, yeah. It makes sense.
Oh,
It makes sense.
no.
It makes sense in the story because they're going to be explaining some stuff that happens in this age, and then it sounds like
Yeah.
they're going to go back. Like they'll go back to 150 years, and then they'll come back to this current era. Be like, all right, now
Dude, how?
you know what these things are. So
Well, because these things take place how many years before like Skywalker and stuff?
it's 200 years. I believe it's 200 years before Phantom Menace.
And then they're gonna go 150 before that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're talking
I'm
going
looking-
350 years before. That's crazy, dude. How far back can they go?
They can go. They can go back as far as they need to.
Well, yeah, they keep coming up with it, but it's crazy.
I don't know if this is all just concept art, but it's. I mean, they call it screenshots for Eclipse, but it looks insane. Actually, like the graphical detail. I'm assuming these are just going to be like
That's all from the-
cinematics. There's
that's
no way the
all
game
from the
looks like
trailer.
that. But yeah.
I
Holy
mean,
shit.
to be fair, their games do usually look like that. Like Detroit was phenomenal looking.
Yeah, but I mean, this. I don't know. I'm just going through it. Very well done for them. Fallen Order. I'm very excited for that to come out soon.
Because I got my new TV, I'm gonna play through that again.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. The other one I'm curious about is I don't remember if they said they were remastering or
Knights of the Old Republic.
Knights of the Old
It's-
Republic. I
it's
never
a-
played the original one,
It's a
but
remake.
you only ever hear good things about it.
Yeah.
I want to hop in and I'm curious to see how different it's going to be from the original one.
They're
A lot of people
they-
said like the combat system was a little jank back then, so that might be something that gets updated, but
well, they're doing it
narrative
as an
wise,
action RPG rather than as a full-on RPG now, which I think would work better. So they're doing
that sounds more up my wheelhouse.
Yeah,
to
it
be
sounds like
honest.
they're making it kind of pseudo Witcher, Dark Souls kind of thing, where it's an RPG and you get gear and all that,
Mm-hmm.
but you're not like freezing battle and choosing your moves and then
Yeah.
releasing it, which is like it was. fun
And
at
I
the
am
time.
okay with with this if they're trying to go more as like an action game.
Yeah, it's like the difference
You
between
know,
Mass
obviously it's
Effect
still
1 and 2.
RPG. So that one I'm very. I don't know if that had a release date.
No, it doesn't have a release date. However, it's like active development, and it's the studio that did the Jedi Academy games. So they're not strangers. And those Jedi Academy games with Jedi Outcast, all that, are some of the best lightsaber combat. Like,
Yeah.
in
No, I had
games.
Jedi Outcast. I think it was on the. Oh no, it would have been the PC actually back then.
What
Yeah.
Jedi Knight Academy is that game you talking about?
Yeah, Jedi.
They had a couple of them, right?
There's
Because I was gonna
I
say
think there were even two Jedi Outcasts.
Activision. It looks like was a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess they probably were the ones that published it. Jedi Academy. Yeah, the game was actually pretty solid.
And it was like the perfect lightsaber physics, where it's just like if you accidentally touch someone, they just disintegrate.
Yeah, even for like the Phantom Pain game, I think it was just called Phantom Pain. But I remember playing that action game, and like I would always just love going up to the walls and then just like swinging because it would just leave like the burn marks on there.
Phantom Pain. What are you talking about?
And I just remember like way back, I don't know,
Dark Forces?
I don't know when it came out.
Or
Oh, was it not just called Phantom Menace?
like the Phantom Menace, like Obi-Wan game?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
game. I think it was just called Phantom Menace.
You-
Yeah, Star
you
Wars
know-
Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Yeah,
They just had that on
game was-
PC.
That game was hard.
That came out in '99.
Yeah, it was hard garbage, man.
I don't know. I had fun with it. It was very jank, and I went back
Yeah, it's very
within the
janky.
past year. I was watching like a quick playthrough of it, but I just remember when that game originally came out. I was like, "Oh my god, I'm in the movie!"
You know what is a good movie, the game, though? Is the Revenge of the Sith one. That recently just came on backwards compatibility for Xbox. So I bought it for, it's like $2. So I bought that and I'm like, this is actually still fun.
Okay,
What's up?
so the people who are making this are the Aspire,
Yeah.
Star Wars Republic Commandos.
Yeah.
Who made that? So that's really cool.
Like Adrian's on board.
And they did the Force Unleashed one as well.
I think that, I think they
Oh,
did-
really?
I think they did
Yeah.
the port for Force Unleashed.
And y'all gonna
Oh,
like
in
this
that
one.
version.
They did Ruby Switch Edition.
Ooh. Ooh. That game is
Can't all be
hot.
hitters. You know, sometimes
Hot
you just need to
garbage,
cash a
man.
paycheck.
You gotta have a hit and miss here and there, man.
That game is so bad. Like, back in the day when I was a raging RT fan, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna support them. And so I bought that game, and I'm like, this is. I've played some games in my day, but this is bad. And I have Black College Football experience and Avatar: The Last Airbender in my library. It's bad, man.
He's bad.
Okay, they did some layers of the of Fear, Civilization 6.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm not gonna judge them off of the freaking Ruby.
No,
because
for
that
sure, no.
is-
No, they have some. Yeah, I can see these guys doing a good game.
Like they're not no Naughty Dog, but like
Yeah. Funny you should say that. I was just while I was looking up for the Eclipse, there was an article, and read it obviously because it's 2022 and we only read headlines now. There's an article from I just had it. I don't really know the site, Video Game Chronicles, but specifically saying that Eclipse is reportedly inspired by The Last of Us. Like something of a mix of
Interesting.
story and gameplay, because The Last of Us is a very cinematic game. You know, like
Yeah.
it almost plays out like you could just watch it as a miniseries. If somebody else was playing, you're just kind of along for the ride at that point.
Last of Us 1 out, Last of Us 2.
So if they had that kind of a blend of like, because I would say Last of Us is way more gameplay heavy than
Detroit.
Detroit, than Heavy Rain and all that. So that would be cool. That would be
someone
quite
who want
cool.
to get their hands on Star Wars would be the guys that did like the Alan Wake games or Control. Those games are fun, man.
I never played Alan Wake, but I do have Control. I just haven't
Control's
really
awesome.
gotten
Control
much
is,
into
like,
it yet.
Weird as all hell, but it control like how she has her powers and stuff like that. I think would be very conducive to a Star Wars environment.
For sure. For sure.
I had to Google both these games.
Dude,
Yeah, Control
Yourself.
came out pretty
Very
recently.
cool.
That one's in the living room, Adrian. So whenever you get here, feel free. It looks fantastic.
Yeah.
The visuals for that game are insane. And yeah, the gameplay, dude, I could very easily see that lending itself to like even just being like a random bounty hunter. Like,
Yeah.
it still kills me in like that game. What was it, 1313?
Yeah. Did you see the footage that came out of that? Really?
Yeah,
Recently?
they apparently had more like more than I thought they did, essentially.
Yeah,
but it's
honestly,
a shame
it
that
looked
that
like
got
Uncharted,
scrapped.
but it looked like Uncharted.
Yeah.
Not a bad thing.
But in Star Wars, yeah, not at all, dude. I mean, some people shit on like Naughty, not shit on, but like they're like Naughty Dog just makes playable movies. I'm like, what's wrong with that, dude? Like the play part is very fun, and the movie part is very cool.
Yeah, like Uncharted 2 and 4, and the whole series is fun and great. But Uncharted 2, like
Those are masterpieces.
masterpieces. Uncharted 4, amazing. Like great gameplay. Everything like you're never bored when you're in a gunfight, even though the controls are the same. Everything it's just fun. Like it's like God of War with the axe. You never get bored throwing that axe and catching it. You never do.
Nah, it's just satisfying gameplay, to be honest.
Everything in that game, those
They
games
nail
is
it.
satisfying.
They nail it. But yeah, so I could very easily see that studio, like just Control. I'm just literally already picturing like
Yeah.
you could slap that sort of gameplay and just swap the setting, swap the character.
Well, and with the license being opened up, I think it's actually next year it officially comes up. We could very well see that happen. Like, because we got the Ubisoft game coming, we got obviously the Knights of the Republic with the Spire. We got the
Flips.
Indiana Jones game from Machine Games. Like, I mean, that's Star Wars adjacent, but it's still the Lucasfilm license. LucasArts or whatever. Man,
Yeah, I
that's
didn't realize
that's a
just how
game.
much stuff was coming out this year for it, though. Like, the fact that you mentioned Bad Batch, that was not on my radar at all.
Yeah, it's supposed
to see it
allegedly
this
coming out
soon?
next month.
Was not expecting it. It literally just wrapped up in August. Dude. Wow, yeah, that's,
but
that's
when
crazy.
when did it start? It was April.
Well, May 4th, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can
Yeah,
see
that's
them.
just
I
yeah.
can see them-
I thought they were gonna make us wait like at least 2 years before we went back there.
I think they're gonna release it at the second week of April, so it doesn't clash with Obi-Wan.
Well, when does Moon Knight come out?
End of
Early
March.
May.
Like I
Oh,
think
so that's
it's
okay.
like March 31st or something.
Gotcha.
Whatever the Wednesday is.
Yeah,
25th.
Disney did a good job trying to plan out a lot of like shows that would just keep people on their app, dude.
Did you
Like
watch-
literally just drip feeding. It's like, well, mainly it's been Marvel mostly for last year, but
I've been watching. What's it called? Pam and Tommy or whatever. That's
No
that's
clue.
Hulu for you, but that's Disney Plus for me.
I see.
And it's also not an overwhelm what Disney's been doing.
No, they're
Yeah, no, I don't
masters
feel like
of
it
the
is.
week.
Yeah, like like they don't
Netflix.
release like multiple shows and multiple movies at
Mhm.
once.
They
Netflix
space it
is-
out exactly.
Netflix just drop shows, and you're like, I guess this is out now. Like Adrian, Last Kingdom, the next season comes out next week. Didn't even know. So, and they just
Yeah, it
drop
definitely
shows.
helps Disney that they do week by week. Like they just have content essentially spaced out for an entire year, and it's not like a million things. Like you just have like,
One
all right,
for
here's
sure.
like four, yeah, like maybe just like a couple movies and a couple solid shows that like you're probably not going to cancel your subscription
Yeah.
if you care about any
and
of it.
Disney are the best at week to week right now.
I barely seen Apple stuff.
You should watch.
I've literally
Yeah.
only watched Ted Lasso. Oh no,
Ted
and
Lasso, dude.
and Foundation actually.
I need to get back on that. That's good.
Dude, Foundation's awesome.
It's good.
It's
Oh,
yeah. But yeah,
I understand
my
why
sister
some
got me the
people-
book, so I have to start on that.
What's that? You're gonna read the Foundation books?
Yeah, well, my sister got me the Foundation book, so I'm
wanted
gonna
to do The
get started on that at
Expanse.
some point. Those I also want to read as well, for sure. I think I don't know how many there are actually, but I
9.
do eventually want to get. Okay, Jesus Christ!
Jason Bourne.
But I think the show is only like 6 of those books, right? I know that they definitely had more stuff written out. That or I think there's like a sister series to it. I just remember reading a while back that like there is more stuff in books than what they were planning on having to do with on the show. So like there is always even more content that we can go back to. that's already written in a book format for The Expanse.
Yeah,
And that was another cool show.
that's usually the case in general. Oh, we also got the Game of Thrones spin-off coming as well. Like 300 years.
Yeah, that
past.
one is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited.
But yeah, no, in terms of like just keep it Star Wars semi-related, yeah, just like sci-fi recently. As a sci-fi fan, like I've just been super happy recently. Dude.
Yeah.
Like all the Star Wars stuff coming out, and then Foundation before that, The Expanse. I've been a happy camper.
A lot of
past
the
year.
inspirations for Star Wars are coming out with shows, which is great. Obviously, the Foundation.
Oh yeah, and the fucking Dune movie. Hello.
Dude, oof. That Denis, I want him to direct a Star Wars movie. I would die happy man.
Definitely should. The visuals.
Like I'm excited about Taika. I'm excited about the Ryan Johnson stuff. I'm excited about all of it. But if he was announced, I would sell my left nut to see that.
That homie just gets it, dude. He just gets it.
They can put freaking bagpipes in Star Wars, and I would smile the entire time.
Bring some Scottish people into there.
Hans Zimmer playing the bagpipes down a ramp on like a Togruta homeworld or some shit. I would be happy. I would take it and be like, yeah, this is Star Wars, and it wouldn't even like.
Yeah.
And I'm all right.
Oh, anything
Yeah,
you guys
there's a lot of cool stuff coming out.
Adrian, you gonna get back into High Republic?
I want to, dude. Especially with this road trip coming up. I was gonna toss out the idea, and Andres, I have the podcast. We can re-listen to that one, to the first one, and then jump on to the next one.
It's a great book.
Oh,
Charlie.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. Actually, that's good because we're gonna be like needing stuff to listen to.
16 hours, my guy. I got you for 16 hours.
There's about 100 hours worth of High Republic content right now. Just
Oh
for Audible.
no. I kind of want to get into it though. It's just hard to because there's so much.
Let me see.
Feel that.
How many
Feel
books are out now at this point? For
Oh shit. Last time I heard was I think 3.
there's more than that.
Fuck.
I'm just pulling out my Audible because I'm still in the middle of one right now. Okay, let's go back to. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 High Republic books right now. That's not including.
Why is Google telling me 3?
Because Google doesn't know what's going on.
Fuck.
And then there's the new phase starts in October, so it's all
Gotta
That's
catch
the
up.
one when it's jumping further back, right?
yeah, and they're jumping into Obi-Wan stuff right now. So like there's a Obi-Wan and Anakin book coming out with the whole thing that happened on Caden and Media. And then there's another Obi-Wan book about him in his like first weeks of being Qui-Gon's Padawan. And then there's a book coming out about Luke and Lando hunting down Ochi of Bastoon. The release order is the answer, Adrian. What you read it.
What I posted?
Yeah, I just saw the title. I'm not gonna read the article.
You're good. No. It was just titles of the books.
Yeah, that's halfway through.
Gotcha.
Because then you also have the audio drama with for Lorna D and stuff like that. Anything you guys are looking forward to aside from what we've talked about?
No, I don't know anything.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm still holding out
knowing-
on Acolyte. This is my.
Yeah. Again, yeah, I just didn't even expect Bad Batch to be coming out so soon, so that's for sure something that's more like recent in terms of what I'm looking forward to. But yeah, I'm honestly Lego Star Wars as well,
Yeah.
and Obi-Wan show.
Same.
It's a good year. It's gonna be a good year.
It's fun. It was a kind of a dry spell in terms of content, in terms of like TV or movies, because we're still not getting a movie until 2023.
That's
I'm
fine.
honestly okay with that.
Which
Yeah.
I think
I would
Star Wars
rather
is
them-
a TV show as anyway, but
Yeah, I think hopefully they're taking lessons learned from the last trilogy and just making sure that they have as much planned out as possible.
I think they're doing more of the Marvel style of things now. with just be like, hey, we're gonna make this movie. If it fits, it fits. If it doesn't, great, whatever. Instead of doing like we're gonna
Instead
do
of
a
like
trilogy.
trying to be like, we'll do another trilogy. Yeah,
Exactly.
then
If
even
the
better
trilogy
for them.
happens, like the Ryan Johnson stuff, great, it works. But we could do movies in between that.
Mhm.
I think they tried.
Which honestly, the standalone movies have been
the best.
the better
They've
stuff that
been-
Disney's
yeah.
put out since they took over.
Solo is so underrated.
Solo's
Yeah.
great, and Rogue.
Rogue One's
Mhm.
awesome. It's one of my favorites. I like Last Jedi a lot, but Rogue One.
No, Rogue One's my favorite one.
Yeah.
Pretty easily. Pretty easily.
Well, this was good to get back on and to actually talk about Star Wars. We haven't done this in a while. I mean, Andres, we talked a lot during when I went to Austin there, and we all got COVID together. But
Yeah.
that's not on the podcast, and it's not directed. It's more like just as conversations go along. Man,
Yeah.
that was a time too.
It's been a minute.
Who knows? Maybe we'll see each other again in April for the other shows
Yeah.
Indeed.
when they come out.
Indeed.
I wanted to get back into it because I mean it is fun. It's just I've been so busy with moving and job and stuff like that, right? And obviously you guys have
Yeah.
too. You guys have
Busy
been moving.
period.
Are you guys gonna try come to Celebration? Because I got.
I would like to. We still have to essentially kind of do a more rigid plan of where we might be and when.
Mhm.
We just haven't gotten around to all three of us sitting down to do that.
You should make the last week of May in LA for in Anaheim for Celebration.
It's what, the 22nd?
It's
Or...
the 20 starts on the 26th through the 30th.
Okay, so literally the end. Okay.
Yeah, because Obi-Wan comes out on the 25th. That's how I'm marketing it now. And I have a hotel
Yeah,
room.
I would like to. I would definitely like to. If nothing else, I would like to
Go to Disneyland.
eventually. Yeah.
All right.
It's pretty cute.
Well, thanks for joining this episode, finally, of episode 18 of Sheep's Throne. I just had a stroke, and I can't cut that out. But thanks for joining us again, and thanks for jumping on, guys. That was fun.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you, as always.